People from all over the world have reported encounters with mysterious beings. They appear to bring important messages or lend much-needed assistance, then vanish without a trace. Could they be angels or even guardian angels? Some of the most fascinating and uplifting stories of the unexplained are those that people perceive as being miraculous. Are they literally from heaven? Or are they the result of interaction of our consciousness with a profoundly mysterious universe? Come, let's find out. Number 10. An angel's guiding hand. Jackie believes that her guardian angel came to her aid on 2 occasions to help her avoid serious injury. According to her testimony, she physically felt and heard this protective force. Both encounters happened when she was a child of the kindergarten age. The first experience took place at a popular sledding hill, where Jackie was enjoying the day with her family. The young girl decided to try sledding down the steepest part of the hill. She closed her eyes and started down. She said, "I hit someone going down, and I was spinning out of control. I was heading for the metal guardrail. I didn't know what to do," says Jackie. "I suddenly felt something push my chest down. I came within less than half an inch of the rail, but didn't hit it. I could have lost my nose." Jackie's second experience occurred during her birthday celebration at school. She had run across the playground to place her crown on a bench. While running back to her friends, 3 boys stripped her. Number 3. The Reading Angel. It's remarkable how many stories of angels come out of hospital experiences. It may not be so hard to understand why when we remind ourselves that there are places of sharply focused emotions, prayers, and hope. Reader D-Bay Lorebaby entered the hospital in 1994 with acute pain from a fibroid tumor the size of a grapefruit in her uterus. The surgery was successful but more complicated than expected, and her troubles weren't over. D-Bay Lorebaby recalls that she was in horrible pain. She had an allergic reaction to the morphine she was given, and the doctors tried to counteract it with other medications. This made a bad experience even worse. She had just had major surgery, and now she was dealing with the pain of an acute drug reaction. After receiving more pain medication, she was able to sleep for a few hours. "I awoke in the middle of the night. According to the wall clock, it was 2:45. I heard someone speaking and realized someone was at my bedside," she says. It was a young woman with short brown hair and wearing a white hospital staff uniform. She was sitting and reading aloud from the Bible. I said to her, "Am I all right? Why are you here with me?" The woman visiting D-Bay Lorebaby stopped reading but didn't look up. She simply said, "I was sent here to make sure you'd be all right. You were going to be fine. Now you should get some rest and go back to sleep." She began to read again, and I drifted off back to sleep. The next morning, she explained the experience to her doctor, who checked and said that no staff had visited her overnight. She asked all of the nurses, and no one knew of this visitor. To this day, she says, "I believe that I was visited by my guardian angel that night. She was sent to comfort me and assure me that I would be okay." Coincidentally, the time on the clock that night, 2:45 a.m., is the exact time recorded on my birth certificate that I was born. Number 8. Rescued from hopelessness. Perhaps more painful than any injury or illness is the feeling of utter hopelessness, the despair of the soul that leads one to thoughts of suicide. Dean S. experienced this pain as he was going through a divorce at the age of 26. The thought of being apart from his 2 young daughters was almost more than he could bear. But on one night of stormy darkness, Dean was given renewed hope. At the time, he was working as the derrickman on a drill rig. That night, he was having serious thoughts of taking his life as he looked down from the 128-foot derrick. Number 7. Angel appears in 9/11 photo tribute. As a tribute to the lives lost on 9/11 almost 18 years ago, twin lights beam into the sky from sunset to sunrise every anniversary. In 2016, Rich McCormick was in Hoboken, New Jersey, taking photos of the lights from across the Hudson River when he realized he captured more than just the beams in one of the shots. The image, according to McCormick, is a figure of an angel floating in the night sky. Although some say the sighting is just an unusual cloud formation, McCormick told Inside Edition he believes it is indeed an angel watching over us. Number 6. A security camera captured an angel. Michigan resident Glenn Thomas told Inside Edition he was touched by an angel after discovering his motion sensor security camera captured an image of one hovering over his pickup truck. He instantly sent his photo to his pastor of his church, Danielle Mose, who then shared the photo on Facebook. Many locals believe the figure in the photo is a sign from heaven. Mose's Facebook post has since obtained hundreds of shares. Number 5. An angelic nurse. Luke was diagnosed with bone cancer when he was just 8 years old. During his 2-week hospital stay to treat an infection, a nurse came into Luke's hospital room. As he slept, his mom spoke with the nurse, who was wearing a 1960s work uniform, which she thought was strange. The nurse told Luke's mom she would pray for his healing before exiting. Luke fully healed of his infection and is now cancer-free. According to ThoughtCo, both Luke and his mom believe the nurse, who was never seen again, was a guardian angel who offered them hope during a difficult time. Number 4. Angel cloud spotted during a drive. A Texas man was driving along Highway 105 in Montgomery, Texas, with his wife when he noticed a particular sighting in the clouds that stood out to him. Danny Ferraro stopped to snap a picture of what he believed was a cloud in the shape of an angel in the sky. He uploaded the image to Facebook, where it's been shared over 19,000 times. Ferraro said the sighting was the positive sign he needed during a time of dread. Number 3. Pastor experiences angelic encounter that saved his life. Pastor John Boston was driving on Airport Road in Columbus, Ohio in 2015 when he got into a terrible car accident that sent a live transformer crashing into his car. Fox 8 Cleveland reported that he was trapped inside the burning car as the windshield melted and the door folded shut. Boston said a stranger walked up, opened the door, and removed him from the car to safety. The stranger told Boston his name was Johnny and that he had to leave the scene before first responders arrived because he can't be here when they get here. He never saw Johnny again. Boston walked away with minor injuries and a stronger sense of determination to serve after his miracle encounter with what he strongly believes was an angel. Number 2. Angel money. It was late afternoon and Ellie was outside gathering the family laundry from the clothesline. There was a sudden, small willy-willy, an Australian term for a swirling wind funnel of dust and leaves. As it raced past me, I saw something blue whirling in the middle of the dust and leaves and managed to grab hold of it. She says, I was surprised and very pleased to see it was a $10 note. A few days later, Ellie was at the back of the yard checking on her garden tomatoes when she spotted something lying in the grass. She was astonished to find it was a $20 note. Not long afterwards, in another part of the garden, she found a $5 note and yet another $20 note nestled among the leaves of the daylilies. But this time I told my family of the angel money. She tells us none of them had put money there, not with the possibility of it blowing away in the often high winds of summer. All was quiet for a few days, then one of my sons came in with an ear-to-ear grin and a $20 note that he had just found on top of the compost heap. Number 1. Life information from an angel. Not many people can claim that they remember this pre-birth existence, but Gary says he does. Even in his middle-aged years, Gary says he can recall some details of a conversation he had with an angel before he was born. I was bodiless, but aware that I was in an area that was darkened, and I was alone except for the entity that was speaking to me. He says, I was at the bottom of a stairway-type structure and was looking up at the stairs, but not seeing one speaking to me. I was very warm and comfortable, but aware and feeling trepidation of what I was about to embark on. This entity was speaking to me and giving me a brief description of how my life would be. I asked for more information, but it was refused. I was basically told that my life would not be a hard life, but would lack any luxuries, and that I would experience great difficulties at a relatively early age. It seems there were a few other small details, but I can no longer remember it was as clearly as I once did when I was younger. It appears the information was correct, as I'm now disabled and in poor health. Okay guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you at the next one.